Police seize thousands of high-caliber rounds during a Boxing Day exercise in Diego Martin. The brother-in-law of THA's health secretary has been placed on administrative leave from his job at the Self-Help Commission. Over 54,000 traffic violations have been recorded since the demerit points system was launched in June. And in sport, TNT head coach David Furlong has a plan B should the government not give clearance to cricket in January. We'll tell you what it is later on in sport. Good evening, I'm Ryan Bechu. This is the weekend news here on CNC3. We're so happy to be in your company on a Sunday night. Top of the news. A 50-year-old man who was detained on Christmas Day was found dead in his cell at the Tunapuna police station this morning. Officers found Danraj Manan of El Dorado unresponsive. A prisoner alerted them to the fact that something was wrong. His body has since been removed to the Forensic Science Center for a post-mortem. Manan had been detained in relation to an incident in which 3 people on Boodoo Street in El Dorado were wounded at 7 p.m. on Christmas Day. Once you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Even as a father grieved the shooting death of his son Akiel Bailey, Roll Bailey admits his son was into the gangster life. Akiel Bailey was shot around at 10:30 last evening on 6th Street in Corinth. No motive is yet known for his killing, but he reportedly survived an attempt on his life a month ago. His father says he disapproved of his son's lifestyle and says he takes comfort in the fact his grandchildren live with their respective mothers, away from their father's lifestyle. Police seized a whopping 2,600 rounds of ammunition during an exercise in the Four Roads district on Boxing Day. The majority were high-caliber rounds used in assault rifles. Rasheed Khan has this story.
It's enough ammunition for a small army. The 2,600 rounds of assorted ammunition found in Diego Martin last night is enough to give 86 gunmen each a full 30-round magazine with change. The bullets seized include 1,613 rounds of .762, 656 rounds of 9mm, and 332 rounds of .223. According to reports, Western Division Police, supported by other facets of the service, were led to a bushy area in the Upper La Puerta area during an exercise where they found and seized the ammunition. The majority of the rounds found are used in high-powered rifles and have been used by militaries and terrorist groups around the world. They're used in guns such as the AK-47 and M4, which could fire well over 600 rounds per minute. And the seriousness of the find adds to the police commissioner's disappointment in the failure to amend the Bail Act. Commissioner Gary Griffith told CNC3 News, quote, "This is what is out there. It is obvious that this is being accumulated for criminal intent to cause massive fatalities. The ammo seized is primarily for assault rifles, enough ammo that could kill hundreds in seconds, but some claim that there is no need for a bail amendment bill, whereby without it, these individuals who would be deemed as terrorists in many countries, but in our country, when held, can be given bail now in a few hours to acquire more weapons and ammo to complete their mission, and when they do, the police is blamed." End quote. Rasheed Khan, CNC3 News.
Meanwhile, police seized one shotgun found in the backseat of a Nissan B12 occupied by 2 Venezuelan nationals. Both were arrested and the gun with 2 rounds of 12-gauge cartridges seized. Officers made the arrest on Saturday around 9 p.m. at Chinchin Road in Cunupia. And Central Police arrested 2 women for having 118 grams of cocaine in their vehicle. The woman of Mont Plaisir Road in Cunupia was stopped by police by the exchange lots traffic lights in Couva. Police found 4 bags of narcotics in the vehicle. Both will appear before a Couva magistrate on Monday. Project officer attached to the National Commission for Self-Help in Tobago, Julian Celestin, is on administrative leave, pending the outcome of charges laid against him by the Commission. This was confirmed by the Commission's Chief Executive Officer, Elroy Julian, who would not reveal the nature of the charges. He says Celestin will appear before a disciplinary tribunal early next month as the organization investigates his conduct. Celestin is the brother-in-law of THA Health Secretary Tracy Davidson Celestin. A 35-year-old man was killed in an accident on the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway in Valsayn last evening. Shamari Holder was driving his vehicle on the westbound lane along the highway around 9 p.m. when he hit the culvert on the northern side of the highway. The force caused his car to flip several times and he was ejected from the vehicle. He died on the scene. The licensing division has recorded close to 54,000 violations under the demerit points system since it went into effect in June. Many of the road offences have been committed on the priority bus route. Guardian Media's Shaliza Hassan Ali has been following this story.
The implementation of the demerit point system in June has resulted in dozens of drivers losing their license, and 1,000 errant motorists will have their licenses disqualified for not complying with the road laws. It's all part of the 54,000 tickets law enforcement officers have issued since the implementation of the new traffic system under the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act.
We have basically cut down on about over 60 driver's permits we have seized under the basis of disqualification for demerit points. We have over 1,000 sanctions, and we have when I left the office, there are about 6,000 sanctions to be applied over the next 2 weeks.
He says many drivers are repeat offenders, some of whom are senior professionals working in government ministries who feel they are within their rights to drive on the priority bus route without consequence. Works Minister Rohan Sinanan says he often received phone calls from people asking him to erase their demerits from the system.
Strange enough, I will say about 85% of those sanctions, and as well as the license we have taken away, most of them were because of the use of the bus route, because the bus route carries 6 demerit points.
Using the PBR without a pass carries a $2,000 fine. Clark says not wearing seat belts, breaching traffic signs, using the priority bus route without a pass, and speeding are among the top 4 traffic offenses. They accounted for almost 24,000 tickets issued. Shaliza Hassan Ali, CNC3 News.
You're watching the Weekend News with us here on CNC3. Stick around, we'll be right back. It might have been a unique Christmas weekend given the continued threat of COVID-19, but that didn't stop hundreds of people from flocking to Maracas Beach. As an annual tradition for many families, beachgoers told CNC3 News they opted to make the most of their remaining downtime by soaking up a little sun. Makari Gittins says after weeks spent in lockdown earlier this year, it was important for her family to spend some much-needed time together outside.
This is my first time at the beach in, I think, since after Carnival, so since February. Feels great to be back. We didn't stop at the lookout. We usually do, but it was really, really crowded. But, you know, I think it seems as though everyone's wearing their mask and abiding by the regulations and just having a good time and just trying to find a sense of normalcy.
Several other beachgoers said it had been a while since they'd been to the beach with their family. Randolph Mohammed says it was a much-needed trip, and while he was there to unwind, he used the opportunity to call on the country to be unified in the face of its present challenges.
We need unity in Trinidad and Tobago. We need the leaders to come together to put things right for this country. That's what we need. We need to be strong as a country, not to be against one another and fighting this one and fighting that one.
There was a notable police presence, with officers walking the beach to ensure that public health regulations were being followed as well. So 2020 was, by all standards, a very interesting year. As 2021 approaches, our Tobago correspondent Camille McKechnie spoke to some people about their plans for the new year. This is what they told her.
Well, my plans for the new year is to be healthy.
You cannot make any plan for... You can have dreams, you can have aspirations, but, you know, you still have to take your time. You have to take it step by step. For the new year, when it rolls over, I plan on going to school, well, online learning, if the COVID doesn't ease up. I want to be able to get all my grades up and pass my subject that I'm doing in school.
It's one thing that 2021 2020 has shown me, and I guess all of us, is that life is it's full of uncertainties, and so every opportunity that comes my way for 2021, I am going to try my best to ensure that I capitalize on each and every one of them fully.
Love that last response. For the last 10 years, the children of Cunupia have been treated to Christmas cheer, the Stalagmite Recreational Ground, by the Single Fathers Association of TNT. And while typically the I Love My Community event brings thousands of children together, that of course was not possible this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But it didn't stop the association from continuing the tradition, as this year it went mobile.
We thought that this is the only thing we could do. We could at least go out to them and give them some gifts, at least to bring some cheer to them in a time when a lot of people are depressed. A lot of children, are becoming anxious. Parents becoming anxious because though they call this a new normal, this is actually an abnormal normal.
According to Fields, the event was made possible thanks to help from business partners and the police officers from the Central Division. Expressing his gratitude to them, he said, given the hardship faced by many, this was the year to stand up and give back.
Now is the time where community service is even more important than before. We could always talk community service when things good, right? But when things look gloomy and bad, now is the time you would see who are the ones that step up to really serve their community.
And just in case you're wondering, the Single Fathers Association has been renamed the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. 45 women and 2 girls have been killed so far for 2020. And following the tragic deaths of Ashanti Riley and Crystal Primus Espinosa in early December, the safety and security of our women remain a hot topic. Well, one local artist has a fresh release calling for respect for women. Savannah's new release, Name Man, was written based on her own frustrations with male attempts to control her. Peter Christopher spoke to her about her new song.
Always according to your will. All along I've been trying to get back in this ring. Tired of the excuses, showing off your entitlement, but all at the end.
A couple months ago, Savannah put pen to paper to express her own personal frustrations about her treatment by some men. Little did she know that when she sought to release this song, her second official release as an artist, it would be amidst the backdrop of a national discussion on gender-based violence. The recent events, such as the death of Ashanti Riley, saw some people in her camp suggest the song's release be pushed back, but Savannah felt differently.
So while the song meant something personal to me, when I noticed what was happening with the gender-based violence in the country, I felt, you know what, I don't think there's a better time than now.
The song and its accompanying music video was released on December 10th. Savannah has defended the imagery of the video, as she says it ties into the very message she is pushing in the song.
The way I look at it, it's as though I want to be revealing, but yet I still demand that respect from men or from other women on the whole. It doesn't mean because I dress a certain way or act a certain way means I'm intentionally looking for something or calling that type of response.
While the song's title and the inspiration was based on her own experience with men, Savannah says there needs to be change from both genders to get mutual respect women desire.
We will get the respect from men if we respect each other also. And if we also respect men. The song itself is not directly against men. It's not an anti-men song.
The song represents a departure from Savannah's love-themed music, but she says the response to the song, as well as the personal release it brought, could see her address more personal topics in the future. Peter Christopher, CNC3 News.
Thank you very much for your story on her, Peter. Now let's check out what tomorrow's weather forecast will be looking like. The The Met Office says it will be predominantly hot and sunny with brief showers in a few areas. Tomorrow's maximum forecast temperature in Trinidad is 32 degrees, while Tobago will experience a high of 31 degrees Celsius. Seas are moderate with waves reaching 2 meters in open waters and near 1 meter in sheltered areas. Well, thank you so much for joining us for a look at the weekend's events right here on CNC3. We thank you so much for spending your Sunday night with us. Do have yourselves a wonderful start to the week.